welcome to a new episode of Empower Podcast. We are here today with Suzie Betts, founder of Boob Armour, a company that aims to make breast protection the new norm in all contact, impact, and ball sports. Welcome, Suzie. I am really excited to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ilaria, for having me. I'm really excited to be here too.
So, as all our audience might have already understood, today we are going to talk about boobs. And there is nothing bad about that. I think this is going to be a really interesting conversation for all women that are practicing sports and listening to us today, but also to other women entrepreneurs and women in media as well that listen to Empower Podcast, to be able to amplify your story and to share your mission and the reason behind Boob Armour. Before we dive into all the questions that I prepare for you, there is one specifically that I like to ask to all my guests, and it is, what is that you're fighting for today?
So my main mission and what I'm fighting for is that so that girls and women can do what they want to do, whether that's sport, whether that's work, without the fear of an impact injury to their breasts. And that is my main goal.
And it's a really important one. And I believe there is still a there is a lack of awareness on the importance of breast safety when we talk about sport, but also work. You mentioned it as well. And it's important for me to highlight your story and to discover more what led you to create Boob Armour, and also, who is Suzie behind the scene. This is going to be my next question, so the people that are listening to us today can get to know you better. Apart from being an entrepreneur, I know you are a mother as well. You practice sports yourself too, and just give us a glimpse of your life, who you are, a part of being the founder of Boob Armour.
Absolutely. Well, I'm over 50. Yes, I am. And I have 3 children. I've got 2 that have finished school. So one's at university, my eldest daughter. My son just finished school last year. He's going off to university this year. And then we've got 1 year off here in Australia until my last child, my daughter, will do year 12. I'm married. I have 2 lovely dogs. We have a lovely life here in Australia. I have very sporty children, a sporty husband. I used to be probably sportier than I am now, but we enjoy being outside in the elements and really making the most of, what we have, the opportunities we have here in Australia.
And what keeps you motivated in your day-to-day fight and day-to-day job and also adventure of being an entrepreneur?
I think my motivation is actually obsession, because I am so passionate about protecting females. I suppose because of what happened to me, and where I had an injury present itself later on in life in the form of fat necrosis, which is the result of what was a trauma when I was younger that I don't remember obtaining. Having 2 daughters who did play contact sports, I only played tennis and netball, it really has really stuck with me and really, I suppose, driven that passion, knowing that, for so long it's been known as an unreported injury. And, they're really wanting to promote girls playing what was once male-dominated sports, but they're forgetting that we actually have different anatomy, and including boobs that are there for a reason, not just to look pretty.
Thank you for reminding us this. You briefly touch on the reason, on the inspiration actually that led you to create Boob Armour, but I would like you to tell us a bit more. I know that it comes from a personal experience, and yes, tell me more about the inception of Boob Armour, the reason behind, what motivates you to launch it, and how has been the journey so far.
Absolutely. So as I said, I did discover lumps in my breast in my late 40s. And when I went to my breast cancer surgeon, she asked me if I'd ever received a trauma, which I thought was a very strange question at the time. And I was like, from what? And she said, well, sport. Did you play sport? And I said, yeah, I did. I played netball and tennis, and she said, well, you could have got an injury doing that. And I was like, well, I don't remember anything. So, let's just move on here. Now not even move on, let's just keep going with what she was doing. So then imaging found them in my left breast. As I said, I found them in my right breast, and then I had to have biopsies, which then showed that I needed to have surgery. So what they were fat necrosis, which are the lumps that mimic breast cancer cells. So a myth is that you can get breast cancer from a trauma to your breasts, but that's not true. What happens is years later, you get the fat necrosis, which is what I had. Another myth is that, you know, to get a trauma or to need protection, you need big boobs. Flat-chested girls who could be 8 years old can obtain an injury, and when their boobs actually grow, that's when the trauma presents itself in asymmetry. And it can be really, you know, just distressful for those young girls having, you know, boobs one higher than the other, one bigger than the other. So, you know, having to have all those tests and obviously the surgery, what my surgeon had said to me was, if there's protection, I wouldn't be asking you this question. So I then came home to my daughters, and both of them played Australian rules football, and which is quite rough. There's a lot of tackling involved. It's definitely a contact sport, and basketball. And, you know, at the time, I probably didn't even think of basketball as much as a contact sport as I know it is now. And I said, do you girls get hit in the boobs? And they're like, what a stupid question, Mum. Of course we do. So I was like, oh, okay, right. So my daughters are getting whacks here, you know, left, right, and centre, not just from balls, from elbows, from the ground, from maybe a football boot as well. So I then, you know, thought, okay, what is available? What can girls wear? And what are these, you know, sporting bodies doing to support this? Well, really at the time they were doing nothing. There had been a 2018 American study where 47% of 90 female college soccer players said that they'd obtained a breast injury. Now, that's quite a lot. That's, you know, nearly half the team. 5% didn't even tell anyone. And another 18% said that it affected the way they played. So that was in 2018. Now, that was early days. And most of the research we found was college sport, but it went as far as that. It didn't go as far as to like what happened to me. Thank God for us here in Australia in 2020, they did a survey as well, which had 207 girls playing Aussie rules, and 58% of them reported an injury, and 48% of those girls said that it definitely affected the way they played. The only thing they wore was a bra. Thank God they were at least wearing bra so their boobs weren't, you know, bouncing everywhere, which is another problem because of the Cooper's ligament that once it stretches, doesn't go back. What had been available on the market before were garments, and they were garments that unfortunately had been, you know, designed and manufactured by men, which, you know, were something that you might wear. So you put your bra on, you then put the garment on. The garment was usually some sort of compression, which the research we did also showed that, you know, compression is not great for long-term breast health. It also assumed that your breasts are in the same position and they're the same size. And it was usually a t-shirt size or, you know, small, medium, large. It was never a cup size. So we knew that what we needed to do was manufacture something that complemented what they already wore, which was a bra or a crop top. We knew from some 1995 research that polyethylene was the best material to work as a barrier between forced impact and the breasts, as it absorbs the majority of the impact. And just going back even further, in 1971, no, it was 1975. I've got that wrong. 1991 was the polyethylene. 1975, it was that any girl playing any sport should wear breast protection, and still nothing was really done. So we then went around, as I said, wanting to do something that was realizing that your breasts are two different things. One might be higher, one might be lower. So we wanted it to be something that was easy to incorporate, as I said, into your crop top or your sports bra. It needed to be light as well. So they're only 15 grams each insert, and thin. So people don't want to feel bulkier because, you know, you want to feel, you know, lean and fast. So it was something that actually encapsulated each breast in its natural position. So I've given you a lot of information there.
Yeah. Keep going because this is really, really interesting. And I don't think I never heard so many information related to breast health. I never practice contact sport, but I do running and fitness, and I done boxing for like this at the gym. But I believe that people are listening to us today, they will find this quite interesting, because as I said before, there is not much awareness or information, and you pointed out yourself as well, there are no many researches as well, there are no data, are still lacking a lot of information from this point of view. So I'm not going to stop you, please go on.
Well, it's interesting. So my mum had been head of the Melbourne University Physio School, and she had a lot of peers who, do academic research projects with students, and she contacted a number of them. This is a great project. Oh, no, sorry, we're doing the hip. Oh, no, sorry, we're doing the ACL. So it's been a real struggle to even get anyone to actually support the cause. Now, everyone knows, and as you know, what it's like running, and that time of the month, it can be anything. I played tennis and netball. I didn't play contact sport. So where my injury came from, God only knows. And it's, it could just be a punch from your brother or something along those lines, but we've got to take into consideration that our breasts are actually there. The reason is to obviously feed offspring, if you choose to. There's now been research that shows that the milk ducts have been affected from a trauma. I've got many friends of mine who couldn't breastfeed, and the nurses in the hospitals made them feel like failures because, but they never asked them if they'd received a trauma. You look at how intricate those ducts are, it's very easy to damage them. So, it's been a really hard slog. I think I thought it would be really easy when I was like, well, first of all, when I invented it, it was only for the two people in this house. I was like, only these girls. And then I was like, hold on, I need to do the whole footy, everyone playing Australian rules football. And then COVID, locked us down in Melbourne, Australia for not 1, but 2 years. We, the most locked down place in the world. So that stopped all our sport as well. So our target market is actually grassroots, and grassroots then became a problem because the community sporting clubs, a lot of them financially couldn't come back to life post-COVID. But our aim for that is that, the girls are making it a habit when they start playing sport. As I said, you can obtain an injury being an 8-year-old flat-chested girl with no obvious development. We love elite players. We love them as ambassadors, but we need to give them the pathway. So hence why the young girls putting it in their kit, like they do their mouth guard if they have to wear one, or their shin guards, and just making it part of that kit, which then makes it, if they play, socially when they're older or at elite level, it's not even a question to protect your boobs. Because if we talk about cricket and males playing cricket, they would never bat without a cricket box. Do you call it a groin guard?
Groin guard, yes. Yes, it's part of the dotation, but any other sport for men that involves contact, they all have their protection line up and prepare with the kit, and it's not the same for women.
No, absolutely not. It's definitely not. It's not even thought of. And even if you speak to a man about it, most of them brush you off about it. There's some amazing men out there who are like, this is for my daughters. I'm going to support this 150%. But it's been difficult. And the thing about the cricket box too, well, specifically for cricket, it's made of the same plastic that Lego is made of. So there's no absorption. It's known to crack and it's known to pinch. But they would not go on a field without that. Now, there was a cricket match here before Christmas. I didn't see it on the TV, but someone said that the batter forgot his cricket box and play did not start till someone brought that out to him. Can you imagine them doing that for a girl with her boobs?
No. I mean, it would be great, but I know that we are far, far behind in this sense for us. Yes, it's terrible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been, I think, the biggest surprise for me, how the adoption side of it is so, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? And even in some of the retail stores we're in, people, some of the salespeople have said that the parents walk past and go, God, I would have loved that when I was younger. And then I'm like, well, they need to buy them for their daughters.
And when did you launch Boob Armour?
So due to launch in 2020, which was the day, I think my press release was meant to go out on a Monday. On the Sunday, word of COVID came out, and I rang my publicist and I said, and our media release was ready to go. And I said, we've got to hold off. We all ended up living at home. I sat here, my husband sat in the back room, and my 3 kids studied in their bedroom for the majority of the year. So what was good about that as well, though, was it made me think of other things. Well, one, my patent, I applied for that, which was great. I hadn't even really considered that. And thank God I did do that, because I hadn't launched in market. Trademarks as well. And I really realised that it wasn't just football. And that's where I was really, hedging on my bets initially. But I realised, hold on, it's anything where there's contact, impact, and a ball. It's soccer, it's lacrosse, it's hockey, it's everything. It's girls who run, who their bras aren't supportive enough. We, help with that too. So, I come across some more research, which was, about teenage girls giving up sport. They'd done a survey of like nearly 3,000, like 2,100 girls in the UK, and 87% of them said that they'd had a breast concern. And that's one of the reasons they gave up sport.
That, and together with period, together to then when you get older, menopause, there are so many, sometimes I don't know if they're more societal inflicted perception and trauma, no, that we are not able to perform or to practice sport in these particular moments of our life. And it's not, because a lot of research also proved that, we can practice sport across all our phase of our cycle, but it's also true that there are many risks that they are not highlighted and they are not taken into consideration. And it's a shame if then 87% of girls decide, oh, I'm not going to practice sport. What are they going to do?
Well, and it's the mental health side of it too. We all know how good we feel after you've, either played a game with your peers, which is, socialization as well, or you've gone for a run. Well, I don't know why I'm saying a run, because I don't run. So
yeah, endorphin happiness. It's just
and you just in those endorphins, and you just feel good, and it really does help clear the mind. If you're studying, or so many, benefits, and that I know a lot of parents, signing up, especially for Australian rules, have been very apprehensive, because they've been worried about, their daughter's boobs until, this came along. So we did see originally a spike in registrations in clubs, because, they knew that there was the protection there now, which is absolutely fantastic.
Well, you already say this, because the launch of Boob Armour was planned for a date, and then COVID happened, and that gives you the possibility also to kind of not realign, but do more research and expand the market and everything else. In which other ways did Boob Armour evolve in the years, and what have you learned as well from this process?
Well, there's been a lot, I've learned a lot of things, actually. It's been an amazing journey, and I've had some very yucky negative things happen, but that's all part of the journey to get where you are now. I think I must have got a bit bored in the second COVID, and I started doing all these sponsorships with clubs and things like that, and I really worked out that there was no real return on investment. I had a background in sponsorship. I used to work for Lavazza Coffee, and we sponsored a lot of different companies, but I knew what the deal was, but the deal wasn't working for me. And I was like, getting let down a lot, because really they weren't promoting the product. Now, in saying that too, and even though we were due to launch in 2020, we had 2 COVIDs, in hindsight, I believe that the market probably wasn't ready for it. I feel like with the whole Women's World Cup last year, that really emphasised the need for female-specific kit, female-specific boots, the period-proof underwear. Now they've got into swimwear as well. And it really has just opened that conversation more broadly than it had previously. So, all that learning I've done, as I said, now in hindsight, I'm like, I was a bit early.
So in a sense, we can say, not thank you, but we can say that COVID helped you to rephrase and to get stronger, to get on the market in the right moment. Perhaps if it would have happened at the same time you were planning, I don't know, maybe things would go in a completely different direction.
Well, maybe. I've bootstrapped the business. So we made a lot of mistakes along the way too, because, creating a new category, there's no footprint of, breast protection when you're doing your advertising and, hitting the right target market. We think we know the right target market, but it wasn't converting. So, hopefully now when we evaluate, well, we have been reevaluating, we're just about to roll out some new advertising and hopefully hit the right target, because that's just like money going down the drain.
Exactly. Well, you're a solo founder, so and before you used to work for someone else, so this is a completely different experience and journey for you. So what are you bringing on from your previous experience that it's helping you to lead Boob Armour, and what have you learned so far, or any skills that you needed to improve, you self-taught yourself? I'm curious, as a solo founder as well myself, and as many other that are listening to us today. I think it would be great to
also having a background in marketing and PR is the way my brain thinks. So everything I think of is sort of a creative way to amplify, my cause. Things like numbers and accounting aren't my shtick. So I've tried my hardest to, really focus on that. I've taught myself how to do logistics, how to do shipping plans, how to do all those things. I taught myself to do the back end of my website. My kids say, Mum, you're not listening a lot, because I've got a lot going on in there. But I love the challenge. So that I'm an energetic type of person. So that really works. I suppose the best thing for me is opening the doors and networking, and getting those conversations happening. But I need to then commercialize it. So, I'm not the best person to then come in and do the deal. I'm good at it. But, there's salespeople out there who, that's their forte. And, that's probably what I'm learning to do more of.
But it's an inspirational journey anyway. I am doing this myself, and sometimes, when you can't really do something, like for me, numbers as well, it's something that I hate completely. I delegate, or I try to find help in order to take that task of me and be more creative, or be sitting here having this conversation, which is what I love the most about Empower. So it's also the importance of the network as well that you build around you, and people that they will come and help you and support you on your mission. Although this is your dream and your baby, your project, and it can be also very hard to find people that will fight your fight in the same way you do, right?
Absolutely. And I just don't know if it would happen if it was a man. I have so many people give me advice, which I don't necessarily ask for. Some of it's amazing, but some of it, it's like, oh, you should do this and you should do that and you should do this. I'm like, I don't know if you'd say that to a guy founder. I just don't know if, they'd speak to them that way. So that's hard, because you've got that constantly.
True. It's a bit of mansplaining for everything we want to do, and it's not necessarily ask. A big part of Boob Armour is also the very important research that there is behind the medical research. You partner up with medical professional to find the best approach material, and I'm curious to know a little bit more about this partnership, this research, and how all the process developed, and how did you find, the best material, the best shape? We mentioned before, not every woman has the same breast shape, and we don't need all the same size and shape of protection. So how did you come to the final product that actually is then can be used by all women?
Absolutely. Well, we are all shapes and sizes, which is, wonderful. And I think originally from my surgeon, I knew about the encapsulation, and there was a lot of research about, encapsulating the breast, which is what a bra naturally, a formed bra naturally does. So we did know that we needed to make it like a standard cup. So it would do this. Now I can tell you there's people that like who have different shaped boobs who our product won't work for, unfortunately, like anything, because we're all just different. And you know, I've tried my hardest to make it as standard as possible, and a breadth of sizes. So we've got 7 sizes, which goes from youth, so a flat-chested girl, to up to extra large. So that goes up to a G cup. Now, as I said, you know, there may be people that it doesn't fit, and I will work my hardest to make sure that I will find those ones I don't know about. I mean, the ones I know about, we are always looking to, you know, develop and do more research to make it something that is for everyone. Because one of the biggest number of women who have breast injuries is in water polo. So incorporating our product in a bathing suit, we couldn't do at the moment, but that's what we're looking at researching to be able to do, so they can stretch, have their arms up, you know, that it doesn't float away. So as I said, I'm always looking for solutions there, but we've done it the most standardized way we could, which was basically replicating a bra in the cup size.
Since I met you, I started looking online for also, like, I type Boob Armour, some things that come up, I'm like, well, definitely not designed by a woman. This looks like a torture plastic thing that I need to wear. And when I visit your website and I check your product, I actually find it very, very interesting and very right. The fact that they need to be, I can put it in any bra I'm using for anything I'm doing, and I'm free to still practice my sport. And I found it really designed by women for women, with that always in mind, and that we are all very different, but you're trying to support us all. We mentioned that your personal experience came from a sport that is not considered a contact sport, but then again, there is breast impact in every sport that we made. And you say you work a lot at a grassroots level to make sure that this idea of having a breast protection is ingrained in the mind of girls, women, parents, and association and clubs. So what other efforts are you making to raise awareness and promote the adoption of breast protection as a crucial component for all sports gear? So eventually, maybe for the future, not just for contact sports.
Absolutely. Well, we're trying our hardest, and that's why we, you know, I mean, I do a lot of talks at clubs when that allows, and I love doing that because the girls really connect. They love trying them on. And, you know, they also like, you know, bumping each other in the boobs. Oh, my God, I can't feel anything. So it really is a lot about the education. And when we can do it, you know, we go out and definitely do it. We've also, so for some of the retail stores, I've put together a video which actually explains to the sales staff why they need it, how they wear it. You know, if they, you know, need another bra, thank God they sell them as well. We do also have a big fact sheet, which is why breasts need protection when playing sport, which goes through all the sports. We've got our ambassadors who also amplify, you know, their endorsement of the product, which is amazing. I only want to work with ambassadors who love the product. There's no interest in anyone other than that. And we're really just looking at new ways to really engage young girls. So we want to make it fun as well. The conversation around boobs has been taboo, as we know, for such a long time. I don't know why, because, you know, we've all got them. They're there for a reason. So we're really trying to make it fun, and hence why we do different colours, and we can do different logos, and we can, you know, just make it a fun conversation to have, and not make it, you know, scary as such.
What is the impact that you witnessed so far of Boob Armours and your products on the women they already purchased, or clubs are using it, girls? You want to share something more about this?
Absolutely. So the number one thing is confidence. So it brings out confidence. They all are like playing their games a different way because they know they're being protected. And even, you know, some girls have said, my coach said how well I'm playing, and I know why it is, because I wasn't worried about getting hit in the boobs. So with Australian rules football, it's a leather football. It's played in winter. It can get waterlogged. So I've got a lot of girls, or even it's a very heavy ball as well. They don't want to chest mark it, which is what you got to do. Depending on the weather, you know, when it is wet, it's very heavy. It's like a flying missile. So, you know, it's giving them the confidence, and that's the same in workplace as well. And that was another thing in COVID #2. I had a lot of, you know, people on the front line reaching out. So we had nurses in emergency departments who were being attacked. We had paramedics, we had police women. I even had dog groomers. That was outside of COVID because their boobs were getting bitten by dogs.
Oh, wow.
But we've also been doing some trials with the military and police because of the body armor they wear, which is so heavy and so tight that it is squishing their boobs. So we're hopefully going to make something available for those people to wear as well. So when they are on the beat, like a police officer here has to wear a body armor, which weighs about 5 kilos with nothing attached to it. So they have different things that screw on. Now, I put one of those on, that at least was padded, but when they tighten me, and I don't have big boobs, my boobs are like squished up here down, like, and with the military ones, they don't even have padding, so that's quite painful. So, you know, if you think about it, there's just, you know, every day I wake up, there's a new use for it. Mining, you know, it just, you know, women driving those big, heavy trucks, there's a vibration. So it's just, as I said, train drivers as well, apparently, on the ones out in the desert. So there's so many uses for it, and so many women and girls have said how confident it makes them to be able to do what they want or need to do.
I know that Boob Armour has been involved with the FIFA Women's World Cup. It was a very important collaboration, I guess, and obviously help you to have a bigger impact and raise a little bit more of awareness. Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
Well, we didn't have a collaboration as such. There was nothing, no sponsorship or anything, but some of the girls were wearing the product, so which was exciting, from a number of the different countries. So for example, Katrina Gorey, who was number 19 in the Matildas, she wears them, and Mackenzie Arnold, I think, wore them as well. A number of the girls have been wearing them, and as I said, that's just globally. I wouldn't even know how many wearing them, actually.
But it's a great return of image, and more importantly, actually, for the awareness of the existence of a product like that. And I know your focus is grassroots, but to have major league players that are actually looking at your product, and it might enhance their performance as well, and make them feel more confident. It's also something that it's important to look out for, no?
That's exactly right. And for example, Katrina was breastfeeding when she stumbled across us, which was really exciting because she knew she wanted to protect her breast supply. So a lot of the athletes who do wear them have been breastfeeding mothers.
Maybe looking at the future, do you see in your vision a way to contribute into female sport in a more global scale and beyond grassroots level?
Absolutely. So our strategy for this year predominantly is soccer. I mean, FIFA said, you know, currently there was 30 million girls playing, and they predict by 2026 there'll be 60 million. So that's a global sport. Obviously, we've had a lot of interest in the US in the college system and the school systems. So it really is just taking it step by step. But I've pulled back a bit. I've had to say no to some things to really focus on where we can have the biggest impact. And for us at the moment, that is with soccer.
It's a really good reminder as well for other founders that might listening to us today, or business owners too. We might be receiving a lot of idea inputs, and we might look at things and say, oh, I can do this, I can also do that, I can also do that, but just keep the focus. I think is a great reminder. As creative people as well, you are surrounded by stimulation and inputs every minute, and I don't know you, I have a notebook full of ideas that they are sitting there. For now, it's not the time, but who knows in the future? Perhaps I will elaborate on some of these ideas, but keep the focus so you can go a little bit further every day and make a bigger impact, no?
Absolutely. Well, you know, it took someone saying that to me, actually, and it was a mentor who said, you know, you're like sometimes a loose cannon. He's like, you know, you're everywhere. You've just got to focus. And even someone saying that to me for the first time made me really stand back and go, you know what? I actually do. And I've got to start saying no to things because I'm a yes girl. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? To get where I want to get every step of the way, I need to focus and start saying no.
I'm glad you mentioned a mentor. I'm curious to know if since you became a founder yourself, if you've been mentored by someone, you mentoring someone, how do you recognize the importance of mentoring as well, whether you are a business owner or even athletes or a woman in general, and how this has changed your perspective on your job, your role, and your mission?
I suppose, as I said to you, I've had a lot of people give advice and some I've really taken on board. And then, a number I've had to you need to step back a bit because you're actually really playing with my mind a bit too much and I don't need to think that way. But, there's ones, and I find the ones who, it may have been just a friend. And this one in particular has been a friend, an acquaintance who's become a mentor. And I suppose it's really giving me the respect of what I want to achieve from the business and helping me get there and putting the ideas in, like, have you thought of that? Helping me with the financials, which is, as I told you, is not my forte. So, those sort of mentors, and really taking the time to explain things and not treating me like I'm stupid. So, I feel like some people talk to you like, I've had people go, you'll never get this because you don't know, you're not a numbers girl. And I'm like, well, I've got a few other skills other than being a numbers girl.
What is that you are most hopeful for the future of Boob Armour, but also for women health in sport?
So my hope for Boob Armour is that it becomes a mandate product, that, it's seen like a mouth guard or like shin guards or in cricket, a cricket box, and it just becomes part of that kit without hesitation. But, they need to protect themselves and they need to wear it. For women's sport, I just want it to be, about empowerment. I want girls, obviously, fair pay, equal pay, equal grounds, equal changing rooms, giving them the chances that the guys have, making it a level playing field for everyone.
I think this is a big topic as well, especially after the World Cup and the increased awareness on women football in the last year. And I hope for the future ahead, there is actually going to be more equality, but not just equality. I think equity is also something that we tend to forget. And I would say, from what I learned from our conversation today, equity is actually one of the pillars of Boob Armour, in the sense that we give you what you need to practice the sport you want in the way you prefer. So if we want to buy your product, first question, do you ship to the UK?
Absolutely, we do.
Great. So to all the sport women that are listening today, if we want to purchase your product, where do we need to go?
So boobarmour.com.au. So I'll spell it boobarmour.com.au.
Perfect. And I hope maybe we can find some brand ambassador or some girls and women that would like to try your products and bring it as well more in a bigger number to the UK market. Do you ship to the rest of the world?
We do. We ship everywhere. And look, we were in the UK 2 years ago. There's so many girls were interested in it. Soccer was just going bananas for it. So, we're just really excited to protect the girls.
I asked you this already, but is there any, I don't know, any future projects, anything else that you would like to share, or maybe Wempower community can also help you to amplify?
Well, look, at the moment, it's really just getting the traction with girls wearing the product. I need to sell product to then get to my next level, which is not obviously, to create more products down the line, which will all be about, female skewed. So, it's really about having those conversations, talking about it in their clubs, reaching out to me if you want me to talk to them. I'm happy to do Zooms from the other side of the world. I'm happy to send videos. I'm happy to do whatever it takes to make sure that girls are protected when they're playing, sport, especially at grassroots level and beyond.
And to finish this beautiful interview, I don't know, I feel like the time just flies, and We just started talking right now, but you remember at the beginning I asked, what is that you're fighting for? And my question to conclude this conversation is, what is that you wish to stop fighting for?
What I want to stop fighting for is that women, girls and women include Boob Armour in their kit without hesitation.
Everyone listening, please, if you have any further questions, Suzie is available to have a chat with you, I guess. Look out for her on LinkedIn, connect on social media with her. Also, we will be more than happy to have you back on the podcast at any time you would like to share any progress or anything else with us. We are here to support your cause, and this conversation has been really enlightening for me today, a great way to start the day. And I'm happy to have given you the possibility to share your journey and to inspire more women to protect their boobies.
Thank you. And my last note is to anyone out there who's thinking about starting a business, don't hesitate. Do it, because you'll regret it if you don't. The good, the bad, the ugly, it's all worth it, because you'll be very, very satisfied just with what you can accomplish along the way.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Suzie, again.
Thank you.